Liberty Shorts. Today we're going to be discussing the Cylinder Seal of Cyrus, written in Akkadian cuneiform on a clay seal, cylindrical clay baked seal that we found dating to the time of around 539. Now, it is in the British Museum, and it speaks of the biblical Cyrus mentioned in Isaiah, Yeshayahu, also mentioned in Chronicles, also mentioned in the book of Ezra and the book of Daniel. Now, we have to know that this king conquered the kings of Babylon and resided in that palace in Baghdad, in Nebuchadnezzar's palace, and took over and then wrote a decree later authorizing the Jews and helping fund them to go back and rebuild the temple to worship the one true God. This is amazing. There's a copy of this even at the headquarters of the UN, and it basically speaks that God was using every player on the board to reestablish, reorganize, and reiterate the temple worship and the allegiance to Yahweh God, the one true God. Now, Cyrus was his anointed vessel. He was a king, of the most powerful king, but God turns the heart of kings. Remember who's the King of Kings? Yeshua, Jesus Christ, is the King of Kings. So this seal represents, even if you find yourself in what would be ungodly hands, really, there's only one pair of hands that guards and guides and couples and holds a believer. And what did Yeshua say? No one can take you out of my hand. He also said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. Beloved, know this about the Maker. Know this about your situation in life. Know that no matter how dark, how far, how much despair you think and or find yourself in, that you're in good hands. And at any moment in time, God can turn the tables. He can even use your enemies to bring peace and for you to bring ministry to them, even as Daniel did to Nebuchadnezzar, to Belteshazzar, and Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard. All of these realities that we find in the scriptures, there are times when you are given over to a teacher, a boss, a family member that's hard to be with. And yet God can turn the heart. Beloved, if we will find ourselves on our knees like Daniel 3 times a day, praying to the God of gods and the King of kings, who knows what will happen? Who knows what decree will be offered? Was it not even written of Ahasuerus or Artaxerxes that there was one decree to kill the Jews and then another decree to reverse it, which is famous in the book of Esther? Remember, beloved, again, that God turns the hearts of kings, okay? And that your life is in his hands and no one else's. It is in the hands of the Most High God through Jesus Christ, our Lord, who is represented here, having all power and all authority, turning the heart of Cyrus and making a cuneiform cylinder, speaking of this reality with the regional powers on earth lining up with the regional powers in heaven. In Jesus' name.